The sky above the alien planet was dark and broken. Stars shone like tiny sparks, scattered across the black. The once great city below lay in ruins. Towers that had reached the clouds now lay shattered. Streets were empty. Silence filled every corner. The aliens, a tall and thin species with pale blue skin, moved carefully among the wreckage. Their eyes were wide with fear. They had thought they were the last. All other civilizations in their system had vanished, swallowed by war or disaster. Their people had struggled for years to survive. Food was scarce. Water was scarce. And hope? Hope seemed like a distant memory. Eldrak, the leader of the remaining survivors, stood at the edge of a broken tower. His eyes scanned the dark horizon. "No one is left," he whispered. His voice shook. "We are alone, completely alone." The aliens had tried everything. They had sent messages into space, hoping anyone would respond. Years passed without reply. Each silence made them weaker. Their technology, once brilliant and shining, had begun to fail. Energy shields flickered, communication arrays broke down, and ships that could fly across galaxies now struggled to leave orbit. But tonight was different. A strange signal appeared in their scanners. It was faint, almost unnoticeable, buried under static. The aliens crowded around the console. Eldrak's long fingers trembled as he touched the screen. "It's different," one of his advisors said. "It's not from our system. It's far away, very far beyond the stars we know." Eldrak stared. "It is human," he said softly. No one spoke after that. The word hung in the air like a spark ready to ignite a fire. The aliens had heard of humanity before. Stories traveled across the galaxy about humans who could survive almost anything. Stories of battles fought on distant worlds, and victories won against impossible odds. But these were just stories. No one had seen humans in centuries. And now, this signal hinted that they were real. Part 1. The Desperate Call, Section 2/4. Eldrak paced the room. His tail brushed against broken panels and scattered tools. He couldn't sit still. If humans are real, if they hear us, we might survive. The others looked at him with a mix of hope and fear. They wanted to believe, but the fear of disappointment was too strong. Every failed message had left a scar on their hearts. They had learned not to trust space. "We have to answer," Eldrak said finally. "We have no choice. This may be our last chance." The aliens moved to their communication array. It was old, patched with metal scraps, and powered by failing energy cores. They activated it. The screen flickered to life. A galaxy map appeared, showing countless stars and planets. Eldrak pointed to one bright blue dot. "There, Earth. That is where the signal came from." A murmur ran through the group. "Earth?" one alien whispered. "That place the humans." Eldrak nodded. "Yes, we must call them. If they are as powerful as the legends say, they may help us. They may save us from extinction." They began preparing the message. Simple words, easy to understand, with hope hidden inside. "We are survivors. We are alone. Please help us." The message traveled slowly, even through advanced technology. Time stretched. Minutes felt like hours. Every alien waited with bated breath. Their planet seemed to hold its breath with them. Then a response. It was not words. It was a feeling, a presence, something powerful. The aliens froze. They could sense ships moving across the stars, heading toward them. The signal was not just a reply. It was a warning and a promise. Eldrak's voice was barely audible. "They are coming. Humans are coming." Part 1. The Desperate Call, Section 3/4. Night fell on the ruined city. The wind blew across empty streets, carrying the scent of ash and metal. The aliens gathered at the highest point they could find, looking toward the stars. Every light they saw made their hearts race. For years, they had lived in fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of dying without anyone noticing. But now, something had changed. A small spark of hope lit inside them. One young alien, Lyra, stepped forward. Her voice was trembling. What if it is a trap? What if they are coming to destroy us?" Eldrak turned to her. His eyes were filled with determination. "Then we fight. But we cannot ignore them. Humans are our only chance." The others nodded. Fear was still there, but it was mixed with something stronger. Hope. A hope that had been buried for centuries. They watched the sky, waiting for signs. Hours passed. Then, far away, a bright light appeared. It grew larger and larger. The aliens gasped. Shapes formed in the distance. Ships, massive and sleek, cutting through space. Humans. They were real. The aliens fell to their knees. They had never seen anything like this. The humans moved with purpose, with power. They were not gentle. They were not kind, at least not in a weak way. They were strong, terrifyingly strong. Eldrak whispered to himself, "We are saved, maybe." But even as the humans approached, a shadow moved across the horizon of space. Something else was coming. Something darker. Something the aliens had not expected. Part 1. The Desperate Call, Section 4/4. The alien city trembled. Automated defense systems, long dormant, flickered to life. Ancient machines stirred, sensing the approaching presence of humanity. Eldrak shouted, trying to warn his people. "Do not fire. They are our allies." But panic spread. Some of the younger aliens activated old weapons. Lights flashed, sirens screamed. The human ship slowed as they entered the system. Sensors scanned the area, analyzing threats. Then a human voice came across the communication network. Deep, calm, and commanding. "Aliens of this planet, stand down. We are here to help, not to fight." The aliens froze. They had not expected communication so fast. They had feared humans would destroy them, not save them. Eldrak took a deep breath. "Prepare for contact," he ordered. "We must show them we are survivors, not enemies." And so, the desperate call ended. But the true challenge had only just begun. The humans were arriving. The aliens were saved from immediate extinction. But what lay ahead, none of them knew. Shadows moved in the distance. A larger threat loomed beyond the stars. Eldrak looked at the sky. His heart pounded. "We have called for help. But the war is not over." The stars above twinkled, silent witnesses to the beginning of a story that would change the galaxy forever. Far across the galaxy, on Earth, the hum of machinery filled the massive Space Fleet Command Center. Lights blinked on panels. Computers processed millions of signals per second, and humans moved briskly along polished metal floors. Commander Jason Riker stood at the front of the central room, his arms crossed, eyes fixed on the glowing screen before him. The signal had come unexpectedly. A faint, coded distress message, unlike anything Earth had received before. Analysts had struggled to decode it for hours. Then, finally, the translation appeared on the main display. "We are survivors. We are alone. Please help us." Riker's jaw tightened. "Aliens," he said simply. The word hung in the air. Around him, officers murmured. Some excitement, some fear, and some disbelief. Lieutenant Chun, a young communications expert, leaned forward. "Sir, the signature is old but stable. It's coming from a system near the outer rim. They're not far from complete destruction. If we wait too long, they won't survive." Riker ran a hand through his short hair. "Outer rim, that's risky. Long travel, unknown hazards, and no intel about enemies. But if they're truly alive, we can't ignore them." The room went silent. Every human knew the stakes. The galaxy had always been dangerous. Humans had survived because they were smart, fast, and unyielding. But this was different. They had no knowledge of these aliens, no maps of the system, and no idea what kind of threats might await them. Riker's voice broke the silence. "Prepare the fleet. Maximum readiness. Full shields, weapons on standby. We leave within the hour." Part 2. Humanity Prepares, Section 2/4. Across the hangars, massive warships waited, gleaming under bright white lights. Engineers and pilots hurried about, checking engines, weapon systems, and navigation arrays. The human fleet was one of the most advanced in the galaxy, fast, precise, and deadly. Every ship had been designed to face impossible odds and survive. Captain Mira. Solis walked along the hangar, inspecting the crews. "Remember," she said, "we don't know these aliens. We don't know if it's a trap. We move carefully, but we also move decisively." A young pilot, Eric, frowned. What if they're lying? What if it's a trick to lure us into a trap? Solis looked at him sharply. Then we win anyway. That's what humans do. We don't wait for safety. We create it. As the fleet prepared for departure, scientists worked on analyzing the alien signal. The message was desperate, but intelligent. The aliens weren't warriors. They were survivors. Their technology had once been great, but it was decayed and broken. If humanity arrived quickly, they could save lives. If they delayed, nothing would remain. Finally, Riker addressed the fleet via broadcast. Today, we leave not to conquer, not to fight, but to help. We are humans. We do not abandon those in need. Let this mission be our honor and our responsibility. Move out. A cheer echoed across the hangar, followed by the roar of engines powering up, one by one. Ships lifted into orbit, cutting through the clouds and heading for stars. Part 2. Humanity Prepares, Section 3 of 4. The journey through hyperspace was long, but tense. Riker watched the stars blur past the viewports, his mind focused on every possible danger. Sensors scanned constantly for threats. Rogue asteroids, unknown vessels, or hostile forces. Every signal was analyzed, every anomaly investigated. Lieutenant Chin suddenly shouted, "Commander, I'm detecting movement near the target system. Unknown ships. They're massive and fast." Riker frowned. "Show me." The screen displayed shadows approaching the alien planet. Their shapes were jagged, almost monstrous. "What are they?" someone whispered. "No idea," Riker admitted, "but humans have faced worse. We prepare for all possibilities." Solis turned to the crews. "We go in with caution. Shields up, weapons ready. If they attack, we respond with full force. But we must reach the aliens first. That's our priority." As the fleet exited hyperspace, the alien planet came into view. The first thing humans noticed was a devastation. Cities reduced to rubble, fires burning across plains, and strange ruins that seemed older than anything humans had ever seen. It was clear that the aliens had fought a terrible battle before. Then, faint signals from the aliens reached them. The messages were simple. "Help, they are coming." Riker's eyes narrowed. They are not lying. And those shadows, something is chasing them. The fleet moved into formation, surrounding the planet. Drones were sent ahead to scout and relay information back. Sensors picked up automated defense systems activating. Ancient weapons, long abandoned, were still dangerous. Solis gritted her teeth. Even their old tech can't match us. But we respect it. We advance carefully. Remember, we are humans, unmatched, clever, and unstoppable. Part 2. Humanity Prepares, Section 404. Inside the alien ruins, Eldrak and his people watched the stars. They saw ships descending, massive shapes cutting through the atmosphere with precision. The aliens had never seen anything like it. Fear and awe filled them. Lyra whispered, "Are they going to destroy us?" Eldrak shook his head. "No, they are humans. They do not destroy without reason. They come to help, but they are strong. Stronger than we imagined." Outside, the first human ships entered orbit, sensors scanning, weapons primed but not firing. Humans were efficient. They did not panic. They did not hesitate. Every movement was calculated. Every decision was precise. Then came the first contact. A human ship hovered near the largest alien tower, and a hologram appeared. Commander Riker's face was projected into the alien sky. "Aliens of this planet," Riker said calmly, but with authority, "we have received your call. We are here to help. Stay where you are. Do not activate weapons. We are coming to save you." The aliens fell silent. Tears filled eyes that had not cried in decades. The humans were real, and they had come. But even as relief spread, Eldrak felt a chill. Far beyond the atmosphere, shadows moved. The monstrous shapes seen by human sensors were closing in. Something bigger than the aliens, bigger than humans, was approaching. And when it arrived, no one would be prepared. Eldrak clenched his fists. "We call for help, but war has not ended. The real battle has just begun." The fleet held position, scanning the skies. Humans were ready. Aliens were waiting. And beyond, in the darkness of space, a threat older than the alien civilization moved closer, silent, terrifying, and unstoppable. The countdown to the real fight had begun. The alien planet stretched below the human fleet, a wasteland of crumbling towers and jagged mountains. Smoke rose in thin columns, carried by the wind across barren plains. Eldrak's people huddled together, their eyes fixed on the sky as the human ships formed a ring above them. From orbit, Commander Riker studied the planet carefully. Sensors show ruins, he said, voice calm. No large hostile forces yet, but automated defense systems are still active. Stay alert. The fleet moved in synchronized formation. Drones darted ahead, scanning the terrain. The first automated turrets powered up a low hum, ancient and worn, yet dangerous. Laser beams flashed across the surface, grazing the hull of a human scout ship. Lieutenant Chin shouted, "Weapons ready. Some defenses are still active. We need to neutralize them before landing." "Do it," Riker replied. "Minimum destruction. We don't want to harm the aliens further. Precision only." Below, the aliens watched in awe. Humans were unlike anything they had imagined. Ships moved with grace, dodging fire with speed and skill. Beams of light from human weapons disabled turrets without destroying the surrounding structures. Lyra whispered, "They are perfect." Eldrak shook his head in disbelief. "No, they are beyond perfect. They are unstoppable." Even as relief began to grow, an unease lingered. Far above the planet, massive shadows moved. Something enormous, something alive, was coming. The humans sensed it too. Riker's voice came over the comms. "All units, prepare for contact. Approach with caution. Sensors detect something unusual, possibly hostile. Maintain formation." Part 3. The Encounter, Section 2/4. The first human landing ship touched down on a plateau near the ruins of what appeared to be an ancient alien council hall. Dust and small debris swirled as the ship's engines powered down. Riker stepped onto the platform, armored and commanding, flanked by soldiers with advanced rifles. Eldrak approached slowly, hands raised. His long shadow stretched across the broken ground. We are survivors," he said, voice trembling. "We thought we had no one left." Riker's eyes softened. "We heard your call. We are here to help. Stay calm. No harm will come to you." The alien eyes widened. They had expected invaders, destroyers, not saviors. Some stepped forward cautiously, examining the humans. Others remained behind, hiding among the ruins. Then the ground shook. A low, rumbling growl came from the distance. Automated defense systems had not been the only threat. From the mountains emerged enormous creatures, dark and jagged, moving with terrifying speed. They had sharp limbs and glowing red eyes. Eldrak froze. "Not again," he whispered. They survived too. Riker raised his hand. "Everyone defensive positions. Humans first, aliens stay behind cover." Human soldiers spread out, shields activated. Energy rifles glowed. The creatures charged, tearing across the plains with impossible speed. Beams and bullets cut through the air, striking but barely slowing them. Even the aliens gasped at the humans' tactics. Soldiers moved as one, covering each other, flanking the creatures, using strategy over brute force. A young alien muttered, "They fight like legends, like gods." Part 3. The Encounter, Section 3/4. The battle raged across the plateau. Humans used precision, skill, and technology the aliens could barely understand. Ships fired from orbit, dropping drones and energy blasts to weaken the monstrous attackers. Ground units moved in coordination, laying traps and luring the creatures into controlled zones. Eldrak and his people helped where they could, guiding humans through dangerous zones, warning of structural collapses or hidden pitfalls. Every move was critical. One mistake could mean total destruction. Riker spotted a massive creature heading straight for Eldrak. He didn't hesitate. Firing his rifle, he struck with deadly accuracy, slowing the creature long enough for Eldrak to escape. The aliens watched in amazement. Humans were fearless. Humans were precise. Humans were extraordinary. Meanwhile, shadows in the distance grew larger. More creatures emerged from the mountains. They were coordinated, intelligent in their aggression. Sensors picked up a massive energy reading, something bigger than any of the initial creatures. Riker called out, "All units, focus fire. Identify and neutralize the leader. This is not just survival. It's protection of the species we came to save." Lyra, hiding behind a ruin wall, whispered to Eldrak, They are not just here to fight. They are heroes." Eldrak nodded slowly. He had called for help thinking they would be saved. But he hadn't imagined the scale, the power, or the courage. Humans were not just helpers. They were warriors in the purest sense. Part 3, The Encounter, Section 4/4. The leader of the creatures emerged fully, a towering monstrosity, covered in dark, jagged plates. Its eyes glowed with an intelligence that sent shivers down even human spines. It moved with strategy, flanking units, predicting their actions. Riker's voice was steady. Focus fire, precision strikes, target weak points. Missiles launched from orbit, hitting critical spots. Ground units fired energy beams, synchronized to overwhelm. The leader screeched and roared, but the humans adapted, moving faster, smarter, stronger. The aliens watched, unable to believe their eyes. Every shot, every move, every command was perfect. Humans were saving them, yes, but they were also showing the galaxy what it meant to be strong, clever, and fearless. Finally, the leader fell, collapsing with a deafening roar. Silence returned, broken only by the hum of human engines and the panting of exhausted soldiers. Eldrak stepped forward. His voice was trembling. We are alive because of you. We thought all hope was gone. But now we understand." Riker looked at the alien leader. "You called us, we answered. But remember this. Earth is strong. Humans are ready. And anyone threatening life, anywhere, will find us waiting." Even as relief spread, sensors detected movement at the far edges of the mountains. Another shadow, larger and faster than the creatures before, was approaching. Riker clenched his fists. "Everyone hold position. Battle is not over. This is only the beginning." The aliens looked at the humans with new respect, awe, and fear. Humans had arrived. Humans had fought. And the galaxy would never forget. The encounter had ended, but the real war loomed, silent, massive, and unstoppable, in the darkness beyond the stars. The alien planet's horizon was a battlefield. Smoke twisted across broken cities, and fires burned on plains that had once been fertile. The humans' fleet hovered above, their ships glinting under a pale alien sun. Below, Eldrak and his people watched, their hearts pounding with fear and awe. Commander Riker stood on the deck of the flagship, his eyes scanning the approaching threat. "Sensors confirm massive movement," he said, voice calm. "They're stronger than anything we've seen. This is no longer a small attack. It's an organized assault. Brace yourselves." The alien survivors trembled. "We thought we were finally safe," whispered Lyra. Eldrak put a hand on her shoulder. "Humanity is here. They will fight for us, but this war, it's far from over." Riker activated the fleet's combat protocols. "All units, weapons ready. Shields up. We move in layers. Ground support, air support, orbital bombardment. Protect the aliens. Neutralize the threat." Missiles streaked across the sky, hitting the first wave of monstrous creatures. Energy shields shimmered as beams of light deflected incoming attacks. Humans fought with precision and intelligence, not recklessness. Each move was calculated, each strike decisive. Part 4, Earth's Might, Section 204. On the ground, humans landed in strategic formations. Soldiers moved quickly, setting up defensive positions and guiding aliens to safe zones. Eldrak watched, his eyes wide. Humans were not just warriors. They were architects of battle, controlling chaos with order. The creatures advanced relentlessly. They were fast, intelligent, and brutal. But humans adapted. Plasma rifles cut through thick hides. Drones circled, distracting and confusing the attackers. Automated mines exploded with perfect timing, creating corridors for humans and aliens to escape. Captain Solis moved among the soldiers, issuing commands. "Do not underestimate them. But remember, we are humans. Strategy, courage, and teamwork are stronger than any brute force. One massive creature charged a group of aliens trapped near a crater. Riker fired from a high platform, disabling the creature's legs with precise shot. Humans advanced in perfect synchronization, herding the creatures into traps. Eldrak's people gasped. They had never seen such courage and precision. Lyra whispered, "They are unstoppable. They are gods among us." Eldrak shook his head. "No, they're humans, and we are lucky they came for us." Part 4, Earth's Might, Section 3 of 4. The battlefield grew more chaotic as shadows from distant mountains emerged. Creatures larger and faster than anything seen before. Sensors detected an enormous energy signature moving in the darkness. Humans identified it immediately. A leader of the invasion. Riker's voice rang out. Target priority. The leader. Concentrate firepower. Protect the aliens at all costs. This is what humans do best. Missiles launched from orbit, striking weak points in the massive creature. Ground units fired synchronized beams of energy, combining attacks to overwhelm its defenses. The leader roared, shaking the ground. But humans adjusted, dodging and countering every move. The aliens watched in disbelief. Their world had been destroyed, yet humans had arrived and fought with a skill that seemed almost supernatural. Every human move was precise, efficient, and unstoppable. Eldrak stepped forward, eyes shining with tears. "We call for help, and these humans, they are saving us. They are fighting like gods." Lyra looked at the humans, fear mixed with awe. They are not just warriors, they are heroes. Even as the leader stumbled, the shadows behind it moved faster. Reinforcements were coming. Riker did not flinch. Prepare for the second wave. Humans do not retreat. Humans do not surrender. We adapt and we conquer. That is our way. Part 4, Earth's Might, Section 4-4. The final assault began. Humans coordinated attacks from orbit and ground, creating a deadly net of precision fire. The alien survivors were guided to safety, hidden behind human shields and barricades. The monstrous leader, staggering but alive, charged again. Riker fired the final shot, a concentrated energy beam that struck its chest. The creature screeched, then collapsed, shaking the ground with its fall. Silence fell across the battlefield, broken only by the hum of human engines and the steady breathing of soldiers. Eldrak stepped forward, voice trembling. We are alive because of you. We have never seen such courage, such strength, such humanity." Riker looked at him, eyes steady. "You called us. We answered. That is what humans do. We do not abandon those in need. But hear this. Earth is strong. Humans are ready. Anyone who threatens life will find us waiting." Lyra knelt, placing her hands on the scorched earth. "We thought all hope was gone. But now we understand. Humans, they are unstoppable." Even as relief spread, the fleet scanned the horizon. New shadows lingered beyond the mountains, but for now, the immediate threat was gone. The aliens were safe, and humans had proven their might. The survivors looked at the humans with awe, respect, and hope. Humans had arrived, fought, and conquered. Their legend would spread across the galaxy. Eldrak whispered to his people, "We were saved by humans, and we will never forget them." Riker gazed at the alien world, calm and resolute. This is only the beginning. Humanity is ready for anything. We protect, we fight, we endure, and we survive. Above them, the stars twinkled silently, witnessing the rise of Earth's might and the beginning of a new chapter in the galaxy. The war had been won, but the story of humanity had only just begun.